Hi! Today I will show you how to use our feature to easily import bus routes into Admire. This will be extremely helpful to schools who receive a spreadsheet from the Board of Education with their students' names and bus stops and want to get that information into Admire without having to manually input the data. Let's get started. Before beginning to import your bus routes, please double check your spreadsheet to make sure that the information is formatted correctly. This will prevent us from having issues going forward. Please make sure of the following. There should only be one header row at the top of the spreadsheet with the column headers. Sometimes LSTA will mix together certain spreadsheets and these will have multiple header rows, such as in this case, over here and over here. These extra header rows must be deleted. Let's highlight the header rows and the extra space, right click and delete. Let's do the same for this one as well. The next thing we need to make sure is that the grade names match the grade names as they are in Admire. For example, spreadsheets from LSTA usually will show K instead of primary. If your Admire has the grade name primary, make sure to update the spreadsheet to show primary instead of K. If there are students on the spreadsheet without bus routes, please delete them from your spreadsheet. Over here, I have two names that do not have any bus routes. In this case, I will delete these two rows. Highlight them, right-click, and choose Delete. The column on your spreadsheet that contains the student name should be in the format of last name, comma, and first name. In Admire, go to School, Student Bus Route Import. Select the term at the top of the screen that you want to import the data for. In this case, I will select Boys 2021 to 2022. Let's load our bus route spreadsheet into Admire. Click the Browse button over here to browse for the file. Let's select our sample bus route import and click Open. Choose the sheet that has the data and click OK, and then hit Load. The information from the spreadsheet will now show up in the window below. We now need to tell Admire which data to pull from which column in our spreadsheet. In the Step 2 section, we see a number of drop-down options. We will need to tell Admire which column in the spreadsheet has the information needed for that particular drop-down option. Please note, if your spreadsheet contains two different bus routes for each student, like mine does here, for example, a morning route and an afternoon route, we will choose one to do first. Once completed, we will repeat the process for the other route. Let's select our columns. In the route column dropdown, choose the bus route you're currently importing. I'll choose morning bus. For the location column dropdown, choose the column that has the bus stop information. I'll choose bus stop. For the time column dropdown, choose the column that has the bus stop times. I won't choose anything as this spreadsheet doesn't have that information. This is okay. Not every spreadsheet will have all information that is asked for. Fill in what you have. For the route type -admire dropdown, choose the route type that you're currently importing. I'll choose to school. For the sort column dropdown, choose the column that has the bus stop order. I'll choose order. Click on the Map Other Columns button. Choose the columns on the spreadsheet that match for name, phone number, grade, and house address. These four selections will be saved and you won't need to change them each time you do an import so long as the columns on your spreadsheet didn't change. If your new spreadsheet has the information in a different column, please make sure to update it here. Click OK. Now we need Admire to take the student information on the spreadsheet and match it to the right student in our Admire database so that the correct bus route information is properly assigned to the right student. Each student has a unique student ID, which is the first column in the spreadsheet, and it is currently blank. In the Step 3 section, click on Match Students Automatically button. Admire will now attempt to match up the students by checking if any of the data from the spreadsheet matches any student in Admire by searching the following parameters: last name, first name, grade, phone, street name, and house number. If there is only a single matching record, Admire will assign the bus route to the correct student ID. However, if there's more than one record that meets the criteria, Admire will not decide which one is the correct student. We will have to match it manually using the Match Students One by One button, which we will do in a bit. You can now see how many were matched up by looking at the matched students count underneath the grid. We successfully matched up 163 out of 170 students. Let's adjust the matching criteria to find the other records. Click the Change Matching Criteria and try again. This gives us the option to select which criteria Admire should use to match up the student ID. Let's try to uncheck the street name, as many times the street name doesn't match exactly. For example, the address is entered into the spreadsheet as ST period as opposed to street. Press OK, and then press the Match Students Automatically button again. This will attempt to match the missing students to the proper records. First names can also often be listed differently on the spreadsheet and in Admire. For example, a student is listed on the spreadsheet using a legal name as opposed to his Yiddish name. You can uncheck the first name and click OK and try to match the students again. As you can see, we have now matched 165 students out of 170 on our list. If, after trying to match using different criteria, you are still left with unmatched records, click the Match Students One by One button. This will bring you through the unmatched records one by one, showing you the data from the spreadsheet on top of the screen and possible matches on the bottom. Let's select each one and choose Use Selected. In the event that a student is no longer at the school or for whatever reason is not matching, you can choose to skip. You can also cancel matching. In our case, I'm going to continue. Success! We have now completely matched the 170 students to the 170 entries on our spreadsheet. Once the student ID column is filled in, let us save our list. This way, if anything gets lost, we will be able to reload the spreadsheet without having to match our students again. By step 4, click Save List. Let's name the file. I will name it Saved Bus Import Spreadsheet and click Save. Now we must choose what should happen in the case that our student already has a bus route assigned and the spreadsheet that we just entered in has a different bus route for that student. In step number 5, you can choose whether you want the existing record to get overwritten or if you want to ignore the record and leave the one that is already in Admire. You can also choose to get prompted for each record that has an existing record to decide for each one separately. All that is left to do is import the data. In step 6, click the Import Data button to complete this task. You will see the import status populate. Success! 170 entries imported. Click OK. If there is another bus route on the spreadsheet, all you'll need to do is to change the drop-downs of the route in step 2 to the proper routes and click Import Data in step 6 again, as everything else is already in place. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it helped you accomplish this task. Please like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date for more Admire content. Thank you for watching.